What is up, guys? It is the Bluebloods here coming at y'all, man. We haven't had a live stream, right? Brandon, what was our last live stream, man? What I think the SEC preview before last season, man.
I think so. It's been a minute. It's been forever.
It's been too long, man. I appreciate all y'all tuning in, man. We want to kick it off first by just thanking all y'all for all the support that we've gotten on YouTube, man. Literally, we started dropping the 2-minute drill in February, and we had like 20 subscribers. We hit 500 today, man. So thank y'all so much for everything y'all been doing, supporting us, man. You know, giving us advice. Shout out to All Script, CFL Podcast, Cut Day, Coach Walker, man. All y'all been huge influences on me as me and Brandon, you know, have it kind of grown our podcast. We used to be strictly Power 5. Now we cover FCS, HBCU, cover Group of 5, man. So shout out to y'all. Let's get to some of these comments in here. Got our guy Scotty Allscript in here. He's also first. Got the CFL podcast, man. Make sure to go subscribe to both of these guys. They delivering the best content out there on YouTube, man. And, you know, we also got to address some of the, you know, listen, we're going to talk about Felix Harper here. I promise. I know all our Alcorn people were pissed.
It's Alcorn. See, now they're saying Alcorn.
They are. They came in the comments about that too. But, man, you know, we're going to talk about Felix Harper here in a second. And so I want to actually start with that topic first, is because we dropped a video with our top 5 Swac quarterbacks. It got a lot of feedback, whether it's good, bad, man. We appreciate any feedback. I do want to address some comments. You know, what's up, Jordan? Appreciate the support, man. Yeah, man, 500's crazy. Listen, Brandon is going to meet you in Monroe. He needs to go see Jackson State play UL Monroe. He's the guy in Louisiana, so he will come meet you, man. I promise. But, you know, in case you guys didn't see our list, I'm going to share both our lists real quick. We're not going to break down every quarterback one by one like we did on our last episode. You can go check out the 2-minute drill on that. I'll link it in the comments after this video. But let me share this screen real quick, man. This is my top 5 real quick. Let me get this banner out the way. StreamYard not helping me out here. I had Akil Glass, Alabama A&M quarterback number 1. Felix Triggerman Harper number 2. Skylar Perry 3. Ryan Nettles out of Alabama State 4. Shadur Sanders 5th. Jackson State. I couldn't, you know, Brandon, me and him kind of went back and forth, but I figured I had to put him. You know, we did this list off of potential, previous accomplishments, overall talent, and he's one of the highest rated recruits in like just SWAC history, man. So we got to put Shadur on there for me. So this was my top 5. I'll give y'all a second to take it in. Y'all comment below. Y'all can comment below your top 5, your thoughts, everything like that. And let me get over here to Brandon's top 5. Maybe
one day.
We'll get apparently not.
They said my top 5 is not even worthy of being on here, so I get that.
Exactly. So we got Brandon's top 5. He got Akil Glass, Skylar Perry, Felix Harper at 3, Ryan Nettles at 4, and he put John Lampley. So that was the really controversial one because Southern fans really think Skelton is going to be the starter at Southern. Brandon has a different argument. He thinks Lampley is the better passer and everything like that. So these two are our top 5 quarterbacks for the SWAC. Pretty similar, except for 5. I have Shadur. He put Lampley from Southern, and he put Skylar Perry at 2, which is kind of crazy since a lot of y'all, I know some of y'all are going to laugh. A lot of y'all vote on Allscript's Instagram. Brandon, they voted Skylar Perry a 69 overall.
See, that's dirty. That's super dirty. You can't do that.
I mean, come on, man. That's tough. And he says Skylar over Perry. That's a tough one. Hey, you also got a 50-yard line ticket. Beat up if you go to the game.
And you want to come down. We'll hit up a Southern game in Baton Rouge, too, if you come down.
Oh, so we got the Alcorn hate is real. Listen, there's no Alcorn hate here. There's no Alcorn hate. Listen, the only reason I'll talk about my reason for putting Akil first, and this just because, I mean, yes, Felix had a great year, 33 touchdowns, 8 interceptions in 2019, but he didn't play last year. And I feel like how do you not have the Swac Player of the Year, a kid who leads Alabama A&M to a national championship? How do you not have him number one? And then on top of that, Brandon, this is a guy who threw for almost 4,000 yards 2 years ago, and this year had the audacity to throw for 13 touchdowns and only 3 interceptions, including his 7 touchdown performance against Jackson State, who was everyone's, who was, I guess, everyone's golden child this year. Listen, Alcorn honestly might be the most complete team. Alcorn, my bad. Alcorn. It might be the more complete team. And yes, they could win the SWAC. I got you. But we're talking about just quarterback potential. Listen, Felix is a very streaky type of player, and I think he has very high potential. When he's on, he's on. But there's very few times you catch a kill not on. Let's be honest. I mean, he's that type of guy. How many? Okay, I want to ask y'all something. If they play a full schedule this year, the pace that Akil was on, what kind of stats do y'all really think he could have put up?
No, it would have been insane. It would have been. I mean, I don't even know how to describe that. It would have been nuts.
And I get it. Alcorn is the real deal. They are going to compete for the SWAC this year. I agree. And Felix Harper is a bad man, but I don't know about y'all, and I want y'all to comment y'all's opinion. I think Akil has like that much above like Felix. Like he just has that it factor that you can't teach. And I'm not going to put a lot of weight into Felix taking them to the Celebration Bowl in 2019, because Akil would have done the same thing this year if it would have been a full season. Mm-hmm. And so I don't think you could put a lot of weight into that. And Brandon, I think you're going to have to do a little bit of explaining here, because you had him all the way at 3 behind Skylar Perry. So I'll let you talk about that.
Zach, it's simple. And I've already explained myself here, but I'll explain myself for the good people out here one more time. So what exactly is my exact reasoning for this? I mean, you already mentioned it. He didn't play last season, and I get it. That's not his fault. His team opted out. Alcorn altogether, like, they didn't play, and that's not Felix Harper's fault. That's really nobody's fault. This season was insane. They didn't play in the fall. They ended up waiting until the spring, played a shortened season. So Alcorn probably didn't want to go in and tarnish any kind of reputation they already had. You know what happens? What do they have to gain here? They won the SWAC already previous season. And then what do they have to gain here? I mean, I guess you could win the SWAC again, but in a shortened season that people are going to say, oh, well, that doesn't count. It is a COVID season. Who cares? People said that about the regular season, like the FBS Division I season. So they're definitely going to say it about FCS, and that's not derogatory, I promise. But I could not put a player that I didn't watch play a full season. And I explained myself on a previous video. I got really into FCS football and everything last season. I've seen it before. I've watched everything before, but not like in depth like I do with an FBS season. So while I would have loved to put Felix Harper up there, and yes, I think he is deserving of that. And you know what? By the end of the season, he might prove both of us wrong, Zach, and he might finish as the number 1 quarterback in the conference, maybe in the country. He might be the number 1 quarterback in FCS football, and I'll eat my words if that happens. I'm not saying it won't happen. I'm just saying I cannot put anybody that I did not watch play a full season at number 2 on my list. Number 3, and I'm talking about Skylar Perry, finished by that much. You know what, Felix Harper, if you give us a follow, if you give us a subscribe, I'll put you at number 1 on our list. How about that?
Oh man, Brandon's out here selling his list, but I agree with the CFL podcast right here. If Akil would have had a full season, man, what kind of Joe Burrow-esque season would we be talking about, really?
Right.
Because I mean, I want you guys to realistically look at what the SWAC was last year. You saw what he did to Jackson State secondary. You saw what he did to UAPB secondary. Did anybody else in the SWAC, or who like anyone else that were going to play, could they rival those secondaries, really? Was there a secondary where you looked and said the wide receiving core that was at Alabama A&M and Akil Glass wasn't going to throw for 300 yards on them?
Yeah.
I don't think you could realistically say that, especially when you look at the depth of that wide receiving core and all the weapons he had.
You're absolutely right.
I mean, absolutely.
I don't know if it's a change of heart or anything, but the most recent comment, he agrees. So I feel like I did a pretty good job of selling myself right there.
Absolutely. What's up, Dante? I'm down for Alcorn versus Southern. If you get the pressure up on Glass, Glass up the gut, he's basically the Swac version of Dan Marino. Listen, I mean, I want to pause and address this real quick. Can you guys name me a quarterback where if you get pressure up the A gap that he's the same quarterback? Because when you get pressure up the A gap against Tom Brady, what happens? His numbers plummet. If you get pressure up the A gap against Aaron Rodgers, what's going to happen? I mean, there's literally any quarterback that you get pressure up the gut on is going to take a step back. And I think that's where Alabama A&M really succeeded last year was, kind of protecting him in so much like that. And so, the one guy I'd be worried about getting a shootout with. He says, Zach Schooling, y'all, let's go, pressure, bust pipes. I agree. And listen, I think it's unfair to really bring out Lamar Jackson here. I mean, outside of Michael Vick, have we ever seen somebody run like that?
Well, he's a running back.
He's a running back. I agree. And listen, I agree with this too. Yes, Lamar can escape that middle pressure, but if we had a throwing competition where we had a bunch of targets set up across the field, a bunch of different routes run, who's winning in an accuracy competition, an arm strength competition against Akil Glass and Lamar Jackson?
Right.
I don't think it's a guarantee Lamar wins that. But listen, it's unfair to ask Akil to be as athletic as Lamar Jackson. So let's pump the brakes on that comparison. I think Akil and Felix, to me, even if Felix didn't play last year, I think are heads and shoulders above the rest. I think personally, Skylar Perry deserves more respect. The fact y'all voted him a 69, y'all should listen. I'm a payoff script to give me the votes on his Instagram. Anybody who voted him a 75 or lower, your football cards revoked. You can't have any more opinions on football because there's no way you watched that season of what he just did and voted him a 69. I mean, that's ridiculous. That doesn't make any sense, and you shouldn't have any opinion about football.
That's like the commissioner of football cards. He's like issuing them to everybody.
Listen, not everyone gets to have a voice out here, not on the Blue Bloods. If you voted Skylar Perry at 69, your comment's not being shown. That's how we're doing it out here. And then also I think Ryan Nettles is underrated. I also kind of want to get I don't know how many people have like an insider track on Southern football. Who do you guys actually think should start for them? I get it. Skelton, like on the ground, is like a Lamar Jackson type. I mean, it's absolutely outrageous. The kid can run for days. He's so dynamic outside the pocket. But honestly, outside of that, though, all the throwing ability has to be Lampley, right? I mean, Brandon, I think you brought the stat that he was the third most accurate or efficient passer in FCS?
Dude, the entire FCS. He was the number one in the Swac by like a mile and number 3 overall in the FCS in passer efficiency. Like, you don't beat that. I don't understand how you get benched after that. That doesn't make sense to me.
So we got right here, Skelton won't start. They're going to use him like a Taysom Hill. That's perfect.
Exactly. I mean, that echoes my sentiment 100%. That's exactly what I was trying to talk about.
I like it. Yeah, we also got Chris Williams here. John Lampley should start. We agree with y'all 100% on that. So, we spent a little bit of time on this. Go check out our video. You can comment below your opinion. But I want to move on here. And this is an interesting question. And I don't think a lot of people have asked it. So I get it. We made a video, and a lot of people have made a video script, CFL. Everyone's talked about this, and some people have said this is a win the SWAC or you failed type of year for Jackson State, and we got a lot of pushback on that. So I wanted to get y'all's opinion on this. How many wins does Jackson State need to have to give them an A+ or an A for the season?
Ooh,
if it's not a win the SWAC or bust, then what's that goal? Like I'll pull up their schedule here. But Brandon, just give me your opinion. How many wins do they need to have to realistically feel good about their season?
I I feel like right now Scotty's kind of taking my shine because I had an answer set in stone. He wouldn't put it in. I'm not going to say beat Southern, but I think they need 9 wins. You know, the best season in like recent memory for Jackson State was in 2013, Zach, and they went 8-4. You know, we have all this talk about Deion Sanders coming to JSU and everything he's doing with this program and how great he's going to make them. And like, you have to show that. You can't go, you can't have your first winning season. Of course, they had the first winning season in like, I think 8 years this past season. They went 4-3, but you have to do better than that, man. You can't even like, I don't even think that a winning season cuts it because they haven't even had a winning season since 2013. I think they need those 9 wins. I think they need to beat out that 2013 team that was 8-4. And I don't want to get the Jackson State hate right now, so I'm not going to say what I was about to say. But I think 9 wins is like a must-have. Now, for it to be like a successful season, Zach, I think any winning season cuts it. I think they might have a little bit more like pressure and they might face a little bit more scrutiny because what Coach Prime has done. But if you go 6-6 this upcoming season, I mean, if you have a 500 record, that's not going to cut it. And Deion Sanders is going to move onto the hot seat, I think, rather quickly if they don't have a winning season.
Oh, man. You see, so like I've said on the podcast that for, like I think it was right after they landed who was the I'm blanking on his name, guys. Y'all can comment below. Who's the 4-star defensive tackle they landed probably about a month or so ago? That he was the highest rated recruit until they landed that wide receiver they just got. But I said it was really a Swac or bust, Brandon. I mean, listen, and I kind of based it off of Deion always kind of pointing toward, oh, it's all about the fall. It's about the fall. It's about the fall. Well, honestly, it needs to be about the fall if you're going to say that. And so I don't know if 9 wins gets it, to be honest, Brandon. I mean, so I don't know because I think inside the program they might give themselves an A. I mean, that Deion might say, okay, like this is my first real season. We got 9 wins. We beat who we were supposed to beat. All that, but I think there's some fans out there. Listen, we have one right here, Mr. Moore right here. Natty or bust? Thanks. I mean, it's true. Shout out to the JSU Tigers fan page. Go follow them on Instagram, man. Great page there. But they need at least 8 wins, 2 losses. The CFL podcast said they can't feel good about it without a championship. You stockpile that talent for a reason. I like that. We got 9 wins and beat A&M playoffs. Hey, Script said facts, Brandon. A winning season doesn't cut it.
It doesn't.
We also at least a Swac championship appearance. I see that's where I am. If you don't win your division, man, Brandon, all that talk, all those stars, all the hype for what? And you don't even get to play for anything.
No, I mean, you're exactly right, Zach. And I mean, they're still signing players today. And it looks like they're starting like a superstar lineup. I don't think it's quite to the level that Alabama A&M showed us like a couple of weeks ago when we had to come on here every single day and talk about Alabama A&M has 3 more signees today. But it's definitely up there. And I think the talent rivals that of what Alabama A&M's bringing in this upcoming season. So I think they're, like I said, I think the pressure's on. I think we have a whole lot of hype at Jackson State right now, even outside of just Coach Prime coming in. But, dude, they have to have an impressive season. I'm looking at their records again right now. In 2011, they went 9-2. And, yeah. I mean, if you match that, I don't understand. Like, I don't know if I necessarily agree with what you said when you said it's Swac or bust. I think if they hit that 9-win mark, I mean, that I don't see another 9-win season here. I just scroll down. The last one before that was 1999, Zach. So I think that 9-win mark is incredible. I think they should feel good about that. And I think it's just the beginning of great things if we see 9 wins this season.
Well, hang on. So, Tom, I want to address this comment from the Rose Show because I want y'all to correct me. Listen, as Scotty would say, our Swac hours are low. I'm pretty sure the Swac doesn't get to go to the playoffs, right? Because I thought you guys had a tie-in for the Celebration Bowl. So do the SWAC teams have a bid to the playoffs?
Yeah, we need an answer.
Yeah, we need to answer because I remember the whole Scotty live stream about the Celebration Bowl doesn't matter and everything. There was a lot of talk about the playoffs. You know, we don't need to consider them, but like this is the reason why. Like I think Scotty
they don't,
and everyone. Yeah, so he said no, they don't. So, but apparently maybe in a large bid. So I mean, if you're looking at the long term Frisco FCS championship, then I mean you would have to lose the division.
But what are we talking about, Zach? I mean, because how good do they have to be to get that at large bid? You know, if that is what they're rooting, if that's what they're going for here, you have to be, I mean, unstoppable. I'm talking about like you have to have no losses, maybe one loss this season to get that at large bid, right?
I don't know. And listen, I mean, when you look at so I guess this kind of get into our FCS preview that we haven't dropped yet. Man, do you know how like this is an interesting year for the FCS playoff because North Dakota State, Brandon, really, really young in a lot of key spots. And and you know, then also you have Sam Houston State returning a lot of talent at the top of that lineup, and they're going to be real tough to beat. Jacksonville State made the deepest run they've made in school history last year, and they're returning a bunch of people. Man, so I don't expect them to make a run in the FCS playoffs. Let me just say that if they go to the playoffs by some chance, man, really and truly, I don't think they can make that type of run. Listen, if they win one game in the playoffs, I honestly, real deal think that would be an A+ season. If they win one game, if they get to the playoffs and they ball out, then man, that's tough. Yeah. That's tough. So we have Central Arkansas got in with 4 losses in 2019. That's pretty tough. That 6'7" quarterback. Oh man, what is his name? I tried to get him on the podcast. I'm not gonna lie. So listen, guys, we actually have one of the quarterbacks who finished second in the Walter Payton Award coming on out of Eastern Washington, but I can't remember. It's the kid out of Southeastern.
No, I know it's Kelly. What's his name? It's,
It's something Kelly. It's all good.
I know it's Kelly. He went to South Alabama before that too, and he ended up at Southeastern. I think he's from Mobile. I'm not positive.
So CFL Podcast has a question. Assuming JSU meshes all their talent together, do you think they could be just as good, if not better, than the 2016 Grambling led by Kincaid? Whew. Let me say this, okay? And I really, really hope that there's no MEAC fans in here because I feel like they'll be a little upset about this. But I mean, with North Carolina A&T leaving, I mean, I don't know how you guys feel about this. I feel like this is the year that the SWAC has to win the Celebration Bowl.
Yeah,
you had this big giant that everyone was getting knocked down by year after year after year. Well, now they're off to a new conference, and you know, I guess my MEAC hours are even lower than my SWAC hours. Man, I just really and truly, whoever comes out the SWAC should be the favorite because I don't see anybody in the MEAC ready to compete with. I mean, is there anyone in the SWAC that anyone in this chat feels like is good enough to beat Alabama A&M on their best day, Jackson State on their best day, FAMU on their best day, Southern or Alcorn on their best day?
Zach, I think you got to hit up that most recent off-script comment because I don't know if we're ready to talk about that yet. Look at that. Ooh.
QB is the key to having that kind of run, and I don't think Shadur is ready.
Ooh.
Listen,
listen, I'll put myself out there. I don't either. I agree with you. That's a tough position to have though, because you're going to get attacked left, right, up, down, every direction there is.
He wants to smoke. And like if we refer back to the question that we were just addressing with the Kincaid Grambling team, do we listen? I get it. He was a highly rated recruit, but putting on the performance that he did, that Kincaid did that year in the SWAC this year, I think so. I think what Kincaid did back in that year, to do it this year is going to be even tougher because I think everyone in the SWAC is a little bit better than they were in 2009.
Oh, I agree. I definitely agree with that.
Or 2016, not 09, my bad. I misspoke there.
I still agree with that.
Yeah, and I just think because, listen, Alabama A&M is at one of their peaks. Southern is doing really well right now. FAMU is going to be tough to beat. I think there's so many teams that are going to be better than what they were that, man, listen, Shadur is going to have to put up a Kiel 2019 numbers to really have a shot.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking 3,600 passing yards. We're talking almost 40 passing touchdowns. We're talking about limiting the turnovers. And, me and Scotty have talked off camera about this, and I get it. All the running backs are there with the potential for Jackson State. But do you guys see a running back that can get his own yards week in and week out? Because I remember when I started covering this conference, Jackson State, earlier this year, the running game was the biggest concern for me. It wasn't Jalen Jones. It wasn't Quincy Casey. It wasn't this defense. It was the offensive line and the running game. And are we 100% sure the offensive line and the running game is going to be up to par to make a deep run like this? Because they're going to have to run the ball to beat Alabama A&M. If you don't run the ball against Alabama A&M and you give Akil Glass more touches to the football, you are going to lose that game. You are going to have to keep the ball. You're going to have to play keep away with Akil Glass in that offense. You're going to have to run the ball against Southern. Good luck with that front seven. You're going to have to run the ball against Alcorn. Are we positive they can do that?
Right. No.
I don't know, man. And so, yeah, Lawrence right here said all he has to do is hold it in between the trenches for JSU to win. Kincaid was a baller. Teams to watch for: Norfolk State, Morgan State. I actually do like Norfolk State. They got the coach from Southern. I'm blanking on his name right this second. But you're going to have to run the ball. Southern's defense is going to get you their problems. Listen, do you guys not remember what happened this year with Jordan Lewis and that defensive line? This year?
Yeah. Right.
Smacked them. Absolutely smacked them. And everybody was getting pressure. Alabama State was getting pressure. And I don't think many of y'all can name an impact defensive lineman from Alabama State. An impact pass rusher.
That's tough.
I mean, come on, man. And listen, 8-3 and 9-2 JSU finish. Not terrible. So let's go through the schedule real quick. We got Preach It. We got Preach It. Hit the like button, man. We appreciate all y'all support, man. Subscribe now and like. Love it. But, okay, Brandon, let's start. They get FAMU in Miami week 1. Where are you leaning right now? So this let me just preview this. This isn't our official prediction, but let's just right now gut feeling, Brandon, Florida A&M week 1.
Gut feeling, that one's tough. I think I'm leaning Jackson State on this, honestly. And FAMU, don't get me wrong, FAMU's absolutely incredible. I think they're going to be a little bit shaken. I think we're going to kind of see, and I guess the only thing I can really even compare it to, and this is just because Zach and I have been SEC fans. We've been fans of SEC teams forever, and so it kind of reminds me of like Texas A&M and Mizzou ended up in the SEC. It's the first season in. It's not going to go as smoothly as I think everybody, might be hoping it does. And I think that Jackson State comes out strong and beats Florida A&M in Miami.
Oh, I like it. I mean, listen, I think week 1, guys, I don't know about you guys. I don't think enough is being put into the positional battle between Xavier Smith and Nugget. What a wide receiver DB matchup to get week 1 in prime time down there in Miami. So, Brandon, right now, I think I have on their schedule 3 toss-up games. And so these games could go either way, and that's going to determine like the floor and the ceiling for Jackson State. This is one of them. And right now, if I had to guess, I'm going to say FAMU steals this one just because of all the momentum coming into the conference. And listen, I get it. Both quarterbacks are going to be unproven. I get it. They're both going to be unproven. I love the kid they got at FAMU out of K-State. Holcomb, I really do. I like them, and I've been reading that they have some people behind them, and that's been pushing them that also got a lot of potential. I just think FAMU down there in Miami is going to win a close one, Brandon, but I won't be surprised if Jackson State wins this one. Yeah, my bad. Xavier is a slot guy, so Nugget won't cover him. That's whoever has to cover him, guys. That's going to be a matchup problem. It is going to be an absolute matchup problem. Yeah, FAMU's offense is going to be tough. And so, Brandon, the next week is Tennessee State.
Right.
Eddie, what a matchup! But week 2, and Brandon, I'll start this one off. I think Jackson State is going. Jackson State's going to win this game.
Yeah, I agree. I 1,000,000% agree. I think Tennessee State, yes, they've been good historically. It's a rivalry game, so I guess anything could happen. But I think JSU is just the better team here.
I like this comment right here. He said, paying all this money to see Jackson State and FAMU, JSU better win. I love it. Oh, hang on. So, Script, what you mean? CJ who? Like, are you talking about Holcomb, or who you talking about who's gone?
Yeah, this is very important. We need.
Let's see. Cameron Sapp is probably the QB. Man, listen, I've heard of good things. I heard they had like 3 QBs down there that could be the starter. Yeah. Honestly, I mean, and listen, Holcomb is a run threat, absolutely. TSU not ready. Oh, CJ Holcomb is not on the team apparently anymore.
Right.
Oh, he left. He just left. Wow, that's crazy. Well, we'll see what that looks like. But Brandon, we've already picked the 3rd game, so we both got them winning at Tennessee State. Listen. Y'all can come in the comments for us, and I'll drop the link for the StreamYard if y'all want to argue about this. This is a real prediction. This is my official prediction. I'm putting it on wax, as someone would say. Jackson State is beating ULM.
ULM sucks, dude. Look,
they are garbage.
They're terrible.
They are so bad. Listen, as 2 guys who cover FBS football, they should be in like D3. They are that bad. Brandon, they did. I'm pretty sure. I'll have to double check. I don't think they scored 20 points in a game last year.
I'm not sure. I know they didn't win a game, so
they didn't. They went 0-10.
Not a good sign. The previous season, I think they might have won like 1 game. So no, it's ULM's bad. I can't wait to do that game, by the way, because hold up, it's on September 18th. I got to check my schedule. I'm also an LSU season ticket holder, so I'm not doing the game. But
listen, and I saw some comments, and I want to address them real quick because the live stream is the perfect time. We have a bunch of y'all in here, so shout out to y'all for coming on our first live stream in a while. I saw some comments that said that SWAC teams just don't beat teams like ULM, and that it's ridiculous, and they said it's ridiculous that we picked them to win because we had a 2-minute drill where we picked the most likely FCS, FBS upsets, and a lot of people were saying that just doesn't happen, and that it can't happen because they're FBS, and the SWAC is FCS, and it's. That doesn't make any sense. And this is the exact mindset that Deion Sanders and a bunch of people covering the SWAC are trying to change. Like, who says Jackson State can't go in there and smack ULM around? Listen, I'm so confident. I said on our show, Jackson State should be the favorite, guys. Like, if you're betting on Jackson State, you should have to give ULM 7 points minimum.
I don't doubt. I really don't doubt that we'll actually be the betting favorite, like the week before.
He said their cheeks. He said their cheeks. Liberty would smack them. It would be a huge confidence boost if they beat ULM. And I really listen. And so yeah, Howard UNLV is the best example. That was crazy. I think they were. What was it? 47-point underdogs or something like that. Ended up winning.
Yeah.
It's possible. Listen, it is. Listen, this is a great comment. The difference in FCS to FBS is always to O-line, D-line. I promise you guys, ULM is that bad where I honestly think Jackson State's D-line is better than their O-line.
Yeah.
I do. I really do. And I'm so confident on this prediction. And listen, I can't wait to come on this live stream later back in September and tell y'all I told y'all so, because I'm calling this, and I called it all the way back in June on our first show about it. Jackson State's going to smack ULM. I'm just telling you. And Brandon, as we go down the schedule, I think we both agree they're going to beat Delta State.
Yeah, I think so. And I want to address one more comment real quick. So road shows that this might be a Jackson State home game. I think it will be. I think it absolutely will be, because Jackson's not that far away from Monroe. We're talking about 2.5 hours, something like that. Dude, yeah. Monroe does not show up to games. I promise y'all. Like my mom and all them up there from up there. Let's see, man. I think I got to go to this ULM game. LSU plays Central Michigan that day. I had Baton Rouge, but I think I got to go.
Listen, Phil. Listen. I'll send you all the info I have on ULM. They are that bad.
They're bad.
Like, they went 0-10, and they're probably going to go 0-10 again. Like, that's how bad. ULM went through a bad coaching change a few years ago, guys, and they haven't been recruiting well. Like, this is a program that once knocked off Alabama, and they're a program that's going to be on the cusp of, having to go down, it's bad. It's that bad.
Go down to the next comment real quick about there we go. Zach, I'm a betting man. Everyone knows that. You kind of are. If you had, so what is the absolute most that Jackson State could be a favorite in this game that you would be like, yeah, I'll take that. I'll take them minus 20.5. I'll take them minus 20.5 right now.
I'll take them minus 10 just to be safe. Listen, you're way more of a risk taker on this podcast than I am. I'm taking Jackson State plus minus 10 for sure.
Yeah. All right.
And so now this is an interesting game, Brandon. October 9th at Alabama A&M, Jackson State. What you got?
You're wrong. It's not interesting. Alabama A&M wins. That's not interesting to me.
Ooh.
It's just that's set in stone. Alabama A&M's got this game.
I also have Alabama A&M winning this game. I'm sorry, guys. I know
it might be close, but I think
Alabama, it's going to be close. It's going to be close. What is going to come down to? Honestly, what it's going to come down to is, can anybody in the secondary, other than Nugget, cover anybody?
That's a fact.
Because you're gonna, and also the biggest thing is, can Jackson State run the ball to keep the ball away from McKinnell? And two, if Jackson State cannot get a Glass out of the pocket, it's over. He's going to throw for another 300-400 yards on you.
Right.
You have to get a pass rush, and you have to run the ball. I mean, it's honestly, there's no right now, guys. If you look at what Jackson State does versus what Alabama A&M does, there's no way you tell me Jackson State is going to blow them out, like I've seen some comments say. No way. You can't tell me that's going to happen. So we're going to move on here. We both got Alabama A&M winning as of today. Brandon, I have them beating. Can we just skip some of these? Because I got them beating Alabama State right now.
I did too.
Right now, listen, Alabama State's good. I just think Jackson State is much better. I think they can beat Bethune.
Yeah, I think they'll beat Bethune-Cookman.
And I think they beat MVSU, Mississippi Valley. Listen, Mississippi Valley is a trap game, though, for a lot of people. I was reading an article from an FCS site that said Mississippi Valley is going to be the toughest teams. Everyone's just going to overlook them they're trash. And then they're going to sleep right into it, and Mississippi Valley is going to be up at halftime.
Right. No, you're right. I think they absolutely stomped Texas Southern into the ground. If we're moving on there, I think Texas Southern's done for already.
They're going to be Texas Southern. And so these last two games, Brandon, are so important for Jackson State next year. Because, guys, I'm going to be honest with y'all. If you go 0-2 to finish the season, it is going to put a sour – I don't care if Jackson State's undefeated coming into these two games. If you finish 0-2, all the momentum is going to be sucked out.
Yeah.
All of it. I mean, you have to win one of these two games, or bare minimum, at least lose on a fluke field goal, something crazy.
Yeah, that's true.
And Southern's going to be tough. Southern game for me is 50-50 right now.
Yeah. I don't know. I want to with confidence say that Southern's going to win this game, but this game is going to be a lot closer than the Alabama A&M game to me. I hope Southern wins. Everybody knows I'm a Southern fan on this podcast, but this one's gonna be tough. I'm slightly leaning Southern on this one though, just because that defense is disgusting at Southern. The front seven is insane.
It's going to come down. So for me, it's going to come down to, has Jackson State gelled enough down the stretch to be like that complete team? Because I know a lot of Jackson State fans are watching. You had to hope that Alabama A&M would have been later in the year, and that FAMU would have been later in the year, because getting those games pretty early in the schedule really puts Jackson State in an advantage, because Alabama A&M's returning so many players on offense that they've already gelled. They know how each other works. That offense is going to be rolling. Honestly, that's what makes it so hard to predict, is because what is Jackson State going to look like in November?
Yeah, no, you're right. It's definitely a big question mark, and I'm not totally sure.
And then Alcorn, I have them losing. I'm sorry, I do. I really, really think Alcorn's going to beat Jackson State next year.
I agree with you, Zach. I think this one's not even really a question. I think the Alabama A&M game and this game, I'm going to go ahead and mark them up as losses. The Southern game's definitely like a toss-up to me, but this is going to be the difference in 9-2 and 8-3. So that's very important. I think the Southern game is probably the most important game. I don't know, maybe not the most important game that Jackson State plays all year, but in my opinion, for this logic, I think it is.
All right, so I like it. So we both kind of broke down what we think. So I want y'all to get y'all's last comments in before we move on here. And it's, how many wins does Jackson State need to have an A+ season? For those of y'all who weren't here when we brought it up, I think you have to win your division. Brandon said 9 games. And we've had a bunch of comments. Some said you got to win the FCS playoffs. Others said you just got to get to like 8 wins. I think you got to win the division, whatever that win total may be, probably 8, 9, maybe somewhere around there. And then Brandon said 9. So comment below. Phil Ross said 9-2. B Fresh said 9-1 season. We got JSU is not beating Alcorn, FAMU, Alabama A&M, and Bama Stank. I love it. I love it. So man, that's listen. If they lose to Alabama State, that's going to be a bad loss. I'm not going to lie to you.
I agree.
That's a bad loss. Azan said 9-2. Rocho said 9 or playoffs.
Yep.
Dante said no way in hell.
Yep.
Educate him, man. Educate him. So Dante, before we move on real quick, I need your over-under. How many times does Akil throw at Nugget this year? I think he threw at him once or twice last year. How many times does he test in Nugget this year, man?
He'd be stupid to throw him at him more.
Crawford said 8-2. Phil said they could easily have 3 or 4 losses. For real. I agree, man. I think there's the toss-up games for me, guys, before we move on, are FAMU, Southern, Alcorn, and Alabama A&M. Like, those 4 games are the games that are going to either determine whether it was a great season or a terrible season. Oh, we got 5 wins. Woo. That's tough. That is tough. Oh, man. So let's move on to our next question, man. Who is the sleeper in the Swac for 2021? So this is a team that's not a favorite and that could sneak up and sneak into the Swac championship. Oh, Dante says 0. I like the confidence, Mr. I like the confidence. He's not throwing at him once. That is true. We got 8-3, and we beaten everybody, knocking them out. So guys, comment right now, man. Who is your sleeper for Swac football in 2021 and why? Brandon, who do you have as your sleeper team for this season?
This is such a tough question for me. Because I feel like I have a couple answers here. I want to say I want to say Alabama State's going to be a sleeper just because of what Ryan Nettles showed us last season. As a true freshman coming in and putting up the numbers that he did and giving us the performances that he did, if he can truly take control this upcoming season, not fall into the sophomore slump, I said I didn't think he was going to in the last episode, or 2 episodes ago, then I think they could definitely be a sleeper. I think Arkansas. Well, no, I'll stick with Alabama State. Alabama State's my choice for sure.
I like it. I don't mind it. Let's see. Hang on. We got Prairie View if their offense improves. I like that one. That's kind of an out of the box one. I like that one. We have a second Alabama State here. We got Bethune. Also, I think we have another ASU. These comments are flying in. Let's see. We also have a response. Nugget was beat both times Akil threw it on. One was underthrown. One was overthrown. Okay, he was saying 5 to how many times he's going to throw a Nugget.
Okay. No, I think if he throws it, Nugget 5 times,
one of them was probably going to be a pick.
Bench him because that's the stupidest choice.
So we got Bethune again. The East might come down to the Magic City Classic again. We got a FAMU. Bubba Clark Culpepper on D. That dude's a monster. That dude is a whole monster too. The Bama State defense is going to be improved. Bethune Cookman. State with the run game to help Nettles. We got a Bethune. We got a Southern as a sleeper.
I don't know if they're a sleeper.
I would pick Southern, but I think it's really them and Alcorn as like the favorites, right?
Yeah. In the West.
Out of that division at least.
Right.
I honestly think. Oh, he said Nugget baited him. He said, oh, I can't run that fast. He's like, I'm gonna get there. Bethune for sure. People keep sleeping on. This is an interesting one. I want to get y'all's opinion on this. How is UAPB just kind of being overlooked now? I know they lost a bunch of transfers, but they still got Skylar Perry back there. They got Thigpen in the back end of the defense. That secondary is still going to be pretty good. Does everyone just think that UAPB is going to just fall off the face of the earth? Because I think they could sneak up on some people if Perry's got to get a little bit more accurate with the football and avoid turnovers. And if he does that, I have no doubt that UAPB can make could have the possibility to make a small run this year.
I want y'all to run the tape back because right after I said Alabama State, I said Ark, and then I cut it off. But yeah, Arkansas Pine Bluff, man, they're not. I don't know if they're going to get very far, but they definitely have the ingredients there, to make a little bit of a run. I don't know. I think Alabama A&M is definitely more primed to make a run in the Swac this season.
You mean Alabama State?
That's what I meant. Sorry.
Yeah. So we got Nugget can't cover all the outlaws. Are we calling the? Hang on. Time out. Is the wide receiving core going to be called the Outlaws of A&M now? Because I'll run with that. We'll rock with the Outlaws of A&M.
Make a T-shirt.
I agree with this comment though. Valley will probably have the most upsets this year. I think they get 2 teams minimum. Well, I don't know who they'll be right now, but they're probably getting 2 teams. I really do. I really, really do. And so we got Dante. He said he had a broken helmet because the refs took his helmet. Since we just throwing teams, why not UAPB? That's what I was saying. I thought UAPB was an interesting one. We got UAPB always terrible. The spring was a fluke. Grambling going to turn it around. I just don't know. I don't know what to think of Grambling this year. I think they're probably 1 to 2 more seasons away from really kind of like bringing it back to the forefront.
I agree.
We got everyone's going to be prepared for UAPB this fall. The Swac is getting better. I 1,000% agree with that. The question is with UAPB losing some coaches. I agree with that. Going to be hard to beat Alcorn and Southern back to back. I agree there. He said just call them dim boys.
Yeah, put it on a T-shirt. That's what we're gonna do.
Like he said, you sleep on the other JSU corners. I'm not sleeping. They're not my sleeper for the fall. But I'm just saying. I think that matchup's going to be crazy. But I think my actual sleeper here for this would make. I really want to take Southern, but I also want to see what FAMU is. Depending on what that quarterback battle is, They got arguably the best receiver in the conference in Xavier. The defense is going to be much improved. They got a lot of athletes out on the boundary of that team. I think FAMU, if they can knock off Jackson State week 1, Brandon, that could give them so much momentum. And I'm not saying they're going to win the SWAC their first year, but it's going to be a team that a lot of these SWAC teams have filmed for years and years and know all the players within the conference. Well, you bring in 2 new teams, and you saw Missouri kind of use this recipe when they joined the SEC. They didn't have a lot of film, and they kind of shocked people and snuck into the SEC East bid for the SEC championship for like 3 straight years, Brandon?
Right.
I mean, they did a great job. And so I really think that's kind of what we could see for FAMU this year. Let's see. Mosquitoes are going to win. Name one. He can't because he checked at least 4 receivers. FAMU can't get BCU off their back. Ooh. He said FAMU is one of the favorites in the East. I don't know, Max. Listen, I'll put the cap at 2 favorites. You can't have more than 2 favorites in a division. I think Jackson State and Alabama A&M got to be the favorites, and Alcorn and Southern got to be the favorites in the other. Everyone else is free picking. Just my personal thing, because if you got 4 favorites in one division, man, that's half the damn division.
Yeah, favorites. You have 4 favorites.
You just have the most outrageous. You got the SEC West at that point, where it's like LSU, Auburn, Alabama, Texas A&M. It's crazy. Let's see. Remember, Dion also had Darren Woodson in that secondary. JSU secondary on paper is no fly zone. I agree. Listen, Jackson State on paper is everything. I mean, it's the best team in the conference. Now, we've seen a lot of teams look like that on paper and not finish the job, and so that's the only reason there's any hesitation on picking them to go undefeated or whatever, because they haven't done it on the field together. And listen, it's great to revamp your whole roster and replace everybody, man, almost everybody, but it takes time to kind of catch up and gel and be ready to play and be ready to win big games. So that's the only reason I don't think Jackson State is there yet. I think the roster is great. And listen, in best case scenario, if everything gels right, Brandon, everybody plays up to exactly what their potential should be, Jackson State will win the SWAC.
Yeah.
But how often do we see every single person on the piece of paper play up to their exact potential or better?
Only at the University of Alabama. That's it. I feel like.
Oh, I like this comment. He said Texas every damn year. Horns down. Brandon just got a fine from the Big 12. Hey, I agree. This is a good comment too. And I don't like to be the guy who hates all the refs. The refs are terrible. Listen, I know my SWAC hours are low, but that was the biggest thing I noticed when I started covering these games. There'd be like calls where I'm like, dude, what are you looking at? Like, there's no way that could be a call. I like this one too. The game is not played on paper. I do agree here. We got another comment. Alabama A&M versus Alcorn will be the SWAC championship.
I think right now that's my prediction too. I don't want to spoil anything. I don't feel that's not a spoiler. Those are just the 2 main favorites, I think.
I like it. So let's get to our last topic, man, before we get out of here, man. Yeah, I agree. SWAC press are the worst. So SWAC media days are coming up this week, guys. I want y'all to comment below. Who are you most excited to hear speak? What are your biggest questions and everything that you want to hear answered at SWAC media days? Let me pull up the list of people who are coming. Our guy, Mark Evans, is going to be representing UAPB, man. I'm so excited for him. But Brandon, when you look at the media days coming up, what's like the biggest storyline that you're looking forward to seeing answered? What players are you looking to hear from? What teams are you going to be most tuned in to?
I think the thing I'm most excited to see, and I mentioned it earlier, is the addition of Bethune Cookman and FAMU into the SWAC. I think that's super exciting. We're going to see all these coaches, and I know that's kind of a cop-out answer. That's kind of what it was meant to be here. But no, it's going to be exciting to see them at SWAC Media Days. It's their first SWAC Media Days. I want to hear more about like who's going and everything else before I speak anymore.
I'll cover it for y'all real quick. So hang on, we got Dante said they're practicing together the whole spring. They're just name dropping now. They gelled already. Hang on, let's see. We got Coach Maynard. That's who you want to hear from. ASU might upset Alabama A&M this year. That's huge. Marquise Bell, he doesn't talk much. That's gonna listen. The trash talk between the coaches is gonna be great because I know Maynard's not gonna back down, and you already know Dion does not bite his tongue on anything. We got Fred McNair here too, Simmons and Sims. Two players that have not played. A down in Swac football. Oh, he's talking about who Jackson State's bringing.
I know, which
That's
is
tough.
crazy. Like, I don't
know. Jason Rollins from Southern will get the intern tag taken off. We got Ask Coach Prom if the season will be a bust if he doesn't win it all. Okay. Because part of me feels like Dion with the confidence and the swagger would say yes. But then also, like, I wonder if he's going to come in as, like, Coach Prom or he's going to come in as, like, you know what I mean? Like, what are we going to get at Media Days?
Right.
I'm going to be very, very curious about that. I'm telling y'all, don't be surprised if A&M takes some losses this year. Rollins is a great recruiter. Y'all crazy if you think Alabama State beating Alabama A&M.
Y'all are crazy for that.
It is already in Coach Prom's head. That's why he's still recruiting for this season.
He absolutely is. That's without a doubt. He's in his head. What are we talking about?
Bro, I hope Dion's interviewing and Maynard comes behind him and like does the Ric Flair like halfway through the press conference.
Yes.
Hits him with the woo. But let me get into who's coming, guys, real quick. Alabama A&M's bringing Nikhil Glass and Abdul, the wide receiver. Alabama State's bringing Ezra Gray and Colton Adams. Alcorn is bringing Felix and Terrence Wilson. Bethune's bringing Euterio Johnson and Taryn Mallard. Florida A&M's bringing Keenan Forbes and Marquise Bell. Grambling's bringing Dan Fields and Elijah Walker. Jackson State is bringing Shadur Sanders and Niles Gaddy.
Crazy.
Mississippi Valley's bringing Jerry Gardner and Caleb Johnson. Prairie View is bringing Drake Cheatham and Jason Dumas. Southern is bringing Jatari Carter and Jalen Ivy. Texas Southern is bringing Jonathan Giles and Michael, I think it's Baggio. And Pine Bluff's bringing our guy, Mark Evans II. Go check out an interview with him. That's our guy. We're sending him some merch. That's our dude right there. Mark Evans, underrated offensive lineman. And Isaac Peppers from UAPB. So, Dante, I actually wanted to ask you about this. How in the world did Nugget not get picked?
Yeah.
For that. What has Niles Gaddy done?
I'll tell you how, Zach. It's not even about that. It's bring your kid to work day with Shadur Sanders. That's all it is.
No, like, okay, I get it. I got the joke, but like, I get like bringing the quarterback because that's the most important position, whatever you want to say. But Niles Gaddy is not even your best defensive player.
Yeah,
that's
fact.
What?
I don't know.
Like, what are we doing here? And listen, I'm just so curious because I get it. The whole offense is new, so like I don't know if you could have brought anybody who had like any like serious playing time, but the defense, you have the best player in the Swac.
Yeah, and not even just the best player in the Swac. He might be the best player in the FCS, and that's Deshaun Warren is so good.
So Dante, I need an answer on that, man. I don't know how much you could tell me, but there's no way that should have happened. That's my biggest gripe about Jackson State. But since Dion's new, they should make him go first. Michael, so we are actually every night we're gonna bring like a recap of SWAC Media Days. Now, comment below if y'all want us to do a live stream. We'll do a live stream recap of SWAC Media Days for y'all. So comment below and we'll get that scheduled for y'all if that's what y'all want to do. I'm down to do that, but we are going to be covering a lot of the storylines from Swac Media Days. We just aren't going to be there covering it because Brandon lives down in Louisiana. I live up in Kansas, so real far away from Swac Media Days, but we are going to be broadcasting like remotely, kind of covering it. So let us know if y'all want to live stream on that. But let's see. Oh, he said, got one. Let's see. Oh, man, there's so many people. Freshmen going to media day. So you already know. FAMU will beat Jackson State in the first game. Dumar's the beast on the D-line. I agree with that one. Oh, man. Who is the leader on JSU's team?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Okay, so listen.
I don't know the answer. I'll be honest.
Oh, man. Like, y'all comment below because, I mean, it should be the quarterback, but he's new.
It should be.
And I don't like all the reports coming out of Jackson State are that Shadur has won the leadership role, but it's a lot of like asterisks next to that. But, you know, because I would say if he didn't transfer, it was Dalen Baldwin on the offensive side of the ball.
Right.
So, I mean, maybe Corey Reed and wide receiver. But, I mean, it's going to be Shadur or him, I would imagine. On the defensive side, it should be Nugget.
It should be.
Or Aubrey Miller. One of those two. I mean, let's see. Nugget went to the Orange Blossom Classic, so maybe they did a thing. Okay, we got a bunch of live streams, so I'll definitely we'll live stream for y'all. We'll schedule it. We'll let y'all know. It'll be rough if they lose. He may not have wanted to come. I agree. Could have brought anybody that don't matter. People just want wins.
Fair.
Shadur is the leader. He is because he's the quarterback. Yeah. But we're talking about it. But when I think of a leader, I think of experience. And so, yeah, Hampton is the one that I thought of. Nugget or Hampton has to be the leader. Fort Riley, Kansas. That's crazy, man. I'm in Manhattan up here at Kansas State. So shout out to Kansas, I guess. So I don't agree with this, though. Man, listen, they do just want wins, but you got to bring your best players. You got to bring the leaders to speak for your team.
Right.
Oh, here we go. He said he missed a meeting. That's why I think, but it's still BS. I agree, man. Listen, because I know he interviewed with the Allscript, and that's better than going to Swac Media Days, in my opinion. But, like, I still wanted to hear what he had to say because, look, he said Hampton and CJ. Okay. But, I mean, the reason this matters to me, guys, is because how do you speak on team goals and team chemistry and team environment when you're not the leader?
Yeah, that's true.
When you haven't been around for the culture, like, you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that, like, you have to have a little bit of hours in your team. Like, as Script says, SWAC hours, you got to have some Jackson State hours to be the leader.
And my thing is, and yes, I agree that he will end up being a leader on the team, Shadur will, because he's the quarterback and because of the opportunities he's been put into. But think about it this way, Zach. I mean, what if you're at a job and then you've been at that job for 2-3 years, and someone new comes up, he's the boss's son. Are you going to respect this dude day one? Are you? I mean, I can't say that I will. That's the only thing. I don't know. And it could be totally different than that. That's not a blanket statement. I don't know. It's just.
Oh, he said Prom understands media buzz.
That's exactly
right.
That's
why Shadur is going. Oh, boy.
I agree with that.
Hey, I'm trying to find out who's going for Alabama because I want to know, like, is he taking Bryce Young?
Ooh, I'm not sure.
Because that would be the equivalent.
That's true. And Shadur has been taking first team reps. I don't have a doubt in my mind, and that's the newest comment.
Yeah, I got it.
I don't have a doubt in my mind that he probably would have started last season if he had been eligible. He just wasn't eligible. Saban doesn't let freshmen have interviews.
I just found it. Alabama's taking Fedarian Mathis, senior defensive tackle, and John Mechie.
Yeah, that checks out.
And then Arkansas's taking 2 seniors. Auburn's taking Nix and Papo. Florida's taking 2 seniors. Georgia's taking Daniels and a senior defense. 2 seniors for Kentucky. 2 seniors. Well, 1 senior and Derek Stingley for LSU. Mississippi State, 2 seniors, Missouri, 2 seniors. Like, there's nobody who's an underclassman except for Vandy because they don't have anybody.
Right.
Because Vandy lost 37 people to the transfer portal.
John is gone.
It's John Mechie. So, that's the only thing that's like, it's so rare to see a young player, regardless if it's a quarterback, taking first team reps, because Bryce Young would have went. And, I think you had some like senior guys, because guys, I don't know if it's I don't know if it's always been like this, but for us, like covering like Power 5 football, it's always the senior guys who wait their turn and look forward to earning their shot to speak for the team. And like this publicity thing, you get them interview practice for the NFL, etc. So it's almost like Shedur's jumping the line over some like senior players who've been waiting.
Yeah.
Let's see. We got Prom doesn't do what people expect him to do. JSU isn't following the status quo, and that's fine. Like, I'm not saying it's ever going to affect anything on the field. I just thought it was weird that Shedur got to go and Niles Gaddy got to go over some of the other people. Like, how did Aubrey not get picked to go?
Yeah,
that's my biggest thing.
Right.
Yeah, Script agrees. He said he is jumping the line.
He is.
I don't know, man. Like, for me, it feels weird. I get it. It's the status quo. That's how Coach Prime never follows that. I get it. So, Brandon, as we wrap this up here, out of the players who are going now, who are you looking forward to hearing talk the most? And, is there like a certain question that you would like, that you're looking forward to someone asking?
The absolute most, I think, has to be Felix Harper. And this comes right back around to they didn't play last season thing. And I think they're going to get a lot of questions about that, about how they didn't play last year, and how they prepared for this upcoming season. So I'm excited to definitely hear that out.
Script said, but when you put your son on a stage like this, you can't be in a bad situation. If you lose, they will come down hard. All you can do is win. And I definitely get that. I mean, listen, I really do like this because there's so much pressure already on Shedeur to play well, on Jackson State to win, that like I feel like at this point though, Script, that Jackson State can't do anything but lean into it.
Right.
Like, there's no way you're escaping the pressure. So it just seems like Deion's like, well, screw it. We're going to turn the pressure on. We're going to max out the pressure and just see what we can run with.
It's fact.
Like that's kind of how I look at it. I don't know how y'all feel about it. So I think this is about Aubrey surgery. Could be the thing. So this is an interesting question. Could Alabama A&M beat Vanderbilt?
Yes. Man, probably.
Oh man, I don't know about Vandy, but I mean it would be a better game than like you think. I would say, but no, I don't know. I honestly don't think they beat Vandy, especially at Vandy. Listen, it would be a closer game than y'all would think, but they're probably still not beating Vandy. Let's see. Script said exactly, but Deion is used to it, but he's not used to it as a head coach, teaching his kids how to handle it. Man, it's just like, what else? Like, what else could you have done? I mean, I get it, and I wouldn't have made the same decision, but it just seems like Deion isn't going to shy away from it. I don't think Shedeur is going to shy away from it, and I think in every interview you hear, Deion's always talking about how Shedeur is the closest thing to him in terms of attitude and mindset. So I think maybe he does think he can handle it. And that's the only reason he picked it. I still don't think it's a good idea. But listen, if I had to pick one player that I'm tuning in, if I could only listen to one player talk, it's going to be Shedeur. Honestly, just to see how he handles the questions, how he talks about Jackson State, the expectations for the season. I want to hear kind of where his head's at. If he's the real leader of that team, he's going to give me the barometer to see where that team is right now.
Okay.
And that's what I need to hear. And I don't want to hear him echo the same things Deion's saying. I want him to give me his thoughts. Where are they? What are the expectations? What should we expect from Jackson State? And that's what I'm looking forward to from him. So let's see. His name is pressure alone. I do agree with that. Man, if JSU fails, they will blame Prom and his son, mostly his son. I hope he's ready for this. I agree. Shedur's been in the spotlight all his life, but it's not like he doesn't have the talent. If he wins, he's not going to get credit anyways. I do agree.
I don't. I disagree. I disagree hard with that. He's definitely going to get the credit for this. I don't know where this. I'd like for you to explain that. Like, if you want to explain, I'm curious to know why you don't think he's going to get the credit. I think that he's going to get the credit even if he doesn't deserve it. If Jackson State's offense is good, I really do.
I want y'all's honest opinion.
Energy. He's a great leader. You're going to hear that.
I want y'all's honest opinion here, and this could be from Jackson State fans. Anybody watching right now, I want y'all to answer this question. If Jackson State goes out and beats FAMU, and whoever their starting running back is runs for 250, and Shedur has like an average game, like he throws for like 150 and like 2 tubs and a pick, how much credit do you think fans and media are going to give Shedur over the running back?
I already gave you my opinion. It's I don't know, man.
I think he's going to get too much credit.
He is. I absolutely think he will. I think that it's going to be one of those things where he comes out and he can do no wrong, unless Jackson State comes out and lays an egg for the first couple of weeks. I just don't see that happening. They might lose that FAMU game, but after that, I think their schedule's cake until QB does get all the credit. They absolutely do. They absolutely do. And Sanders coaches
40%.
Absolutely going to get it. Not 40, man. Come on.
I don't know. Let's say he made the decision. I feel like he's willing to take the results this season on what happens. I listen, and Dion is ready to take it.
No, he is.
The thing I worry about is what are the fans going to say?
Right.
Are the fans going to be okay if he comes out and performs average?
Let's see.
Well, listen, just if we live stream at the end of the year and Jackson State goes 6-6, 7-5, and Shedur performs as like the 5th or 6th best quarterback, what are y'all going to say?
Right.
Are y'all going to be talking about stars then? Or are you going to be talking about, we need to go get a better quarterback?
I don't know, man. That's
because listen, yesterday's Scripps live stream, or I don't know if it was yesterday. Script, you can let me know. Someone said he was the next coming to get Deshaun Watson.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Like, we have so many outrageous takes. That's an outrageous take. I feel confident saying that because there's only one Deshaun Watson.
Scotty said you already know what's coming on my channel if that happens. He said a lot because the true freshman and the QB of the team.
Not true.
Shedur has the most pressure. Anything goes wrong, they're blaming him. That's what I'm saying. Like, he's going to get all the blame.
Yeah. Every
bit of it. And he said he'd probably get Gatorade poured on his head like they won the Super Bowl. Listen, if there's ever a game this year, listen, Michael, comment below. If you've used StreamYard, which is what we're using now, I'll drop the link in the chat. You can click it, turn your camera off, and you can come talk to us, man. Comment below if you're able to do that, and I'll drop the link.
You call me.
Yeah, or call Brandon, and we'll get you on the show, man. Comment below, and let's see. Oh, here we go. JSU fans going to be screaming fire Dion.
And then, hey, by the way, probably. But also, if anybody else wants to come on, like, hit us up in the comments. We can drop a StreamYard link.
I'll drop the StreamYard link, and y'all can come on here, man. We got no plans. We got no plans. All right, bro. Hang on, let's see. Invite. I'm about to post in the comment. 1 second. Y'all can use that link I just posted, right? Use this link right here I just posted, man. Y'all can come on the show. Oh, let's see. He said the fans should just hush because JSU has been terrible for years, and it'll be business as usual for them.
They've not been good. Like I said, the last winning season they had before last season was 2013, and that was what, an 8-win season back then, 8-4. So it's, I don't know.
I mean, let's see. Hang on. I like this comment too. He said he won't recruit a 4-star quarterback to compete.
I don't think he will. I really don't. He's not going to let anybody compete against his son. That's just father-son stuff, and you can't have that when you're playing collegiate level football.
Okay, so this is an interesting thing though, because I was talking to someone off camera about this. How like it takes a really really good special coach to be able to coach your son anyway. Hang on, so we got our guy Scotty here. What's up, man?
Hey, what's good with y'all, man? Appreciate y'all for having me on.
Oh yeah,
hey, absolutely, man. So what you come on here to talk about, man? Shedeur?
Yeah, you already know what's coming. Listen, my thing is this, like your point said, you said if he becomes the 5th or 6th quarterback, right? Which is understandable as freshman, but my thing is this: does Deion go out and recruit a 4 to 3-star quarterback for competition? That's my key, because if you look at the quarterback room, there is no competition. Every other spot on JSU has risk, and you know this because you're a statistician. You and Brandon and you both know he has got 3 to 4 stars in every other position but the quarterback.
Facts.
That's true.
So tell me, where does he go from there if he has a bad year? Does he go out and get a 4-star? Does he go out and get a grad transfer? That's my only point. That's what I want to know.
Definitely not a grad transfer, and it's mostly probably because he's only a freshman. It's just I know Deion's willing to be patient with him, but now that you've put all this pressure, have you primed your fan base to be patient with him? And I don't think you have. Like, you've primed your fan base to think he's going to go out there and play like Trevor Lawrence.
You have. You for sure have. And yes, he has the potential. He definitely does. But man, like, we have overhyped him to the moon, dude, because if he comes out and even slightly underperforms, I know, and this isn't like, I don't want to make a blanket statement here, but I know how some JSU fans can be, and they're gonna murder this dude. They for sure are.
And what about this comment though, Scotty? Because I mean, I would like to know too. Does anyone know does anyone know what's going to happen if he goes down?
Man, listen. I got the infamous video Sunshine. So you got the Sunshine kid behind him. Then you have the kid who was throwing the ball when T.O. came. That's the other backup quarterback. So you have those two. Now, neither one of those are star players. If you go check their names out, Grayson and the other one, neither one of them have any stars to their name. Not that I care about stars, because ball is ball. But clearly you said you was looking for dogs.
Right.
I'm confused on whether or not you went and got those dogs at the quarterback position. That's all I'm saying, because you can't tell me that who lives and dies with one quarterback. Nobody does that. Like, yeah, you might have Aaron Rodgers, but you got to have somebody behind him. Like, you can't tell me Connor Maynard has the best quarterback in the Swac and still went and got Quincy Casey. And I'm not saying Quincy Casey is the second coming of, Steve McNair, but he's serviceable. He's played a college game. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's little stuff like that. Like, I don't need you to be all world for a backup, but I need you to be serviceable. But you got two guys who have never played a college snap as your backups. What are we doing?
Right.
It's not a good look. And then, you even look at FAMU and what they have in the quarterback room. And then you got Lampley and Skelton at Southern. Where do we honestly, so outside of Shedeur, where do we rank the QB room for Jackson State in terms of SWAC teams?
Bro. And Phil Ross said Grayson threw for 5,000 yards this senior year. If you want to be really technical, he should be starting over Shedeur because he's played better competition in the state of Texas.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
He came from a 5A school in Texas, at North Texas, where you're playing big boys. Shedeur has not played a 5A, 6A team in Texas. If you want to be technical, Phil Ross TV. I know this ain't my show because I'm with Smoke, but that's you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. But if we're talking about that, if we're talking about potential, he threw for 5,000 yards in the state of Texas in a 5A school. Are you serious?
I mean, I know those Swat groups are probably the most invalid source of information of all time on Facebook, but like, I saw like a stat where it was, man, I'm trying to remember exactly what it said, but it has something to do with that. But like, Quincy being a backup to Akil, you got the 2 4-stars, I believe, at FAMU. I mean, outside of that, I mean, that's what it was. Shadur, he played all private schools in Texas. Am I correct?
Yep.
Okay, so his first 2 years, he was in a private school in Texas. They kicked him out. They kicked him out that league because they were dominating it. But it wasn't top talent. And what Deion was able to do is he was able to recruit kids from Houston, Dallas area. Pretty much what he's doing now at Jackson State, he was doing in the high school level. He was taking kids from backups from Duncanville, backups from Cedar Hill, Texas, the high school. He was taking those backups who didn't start and putting them on his team, and now he's dominating. Well, they kick him out the league, so he goes independent, and now he starts playing other Catholic schools and other private schools out of state. But when I tell you they're not top-level competition, they are not. And anybody on here that says they are is bugging, because the best competition is right in the same state, right down your street, which is Cedar Hill, Duncanville, DeSoto, the baddest boys in football in Texas, and you never stepped up to play them.
Jordan said they played DeSoto one time and got demolished. He said it wasn't even close.
My point. My point exactly. My point exactly.
It is daddy ball. Hold up.
Yeah, hang on. He said it's daddy ball. He said he's with you. And he said that he wanted Quincy as his QB, but like I want to mention this too. Is, I mean, I know you kind of talked about it on your show, but do Jackson State fans really think that Quincy got a fair shake at the QB1 spot this year?
No, but everybody says Quincy didn't want to compete. But how can Quincy compete when day one he's taking spring reps? You got somebody who's not allowed to play in the spring, taking first team spring reps. That means he's taking reps over Jalen. He's splitting reps with Jalen, and then you're not playing. What are you splitting reps for Jalen for? You're not playing. You're not going to go see Edward Waters. You're not going to go see Mississippi Valley State, but you're splitting reps at the ones with him. And then the week up to the game, Alabama A&M, that's the first time Quincy got first team reps. So you're talking about a kid who threw for 350 over 3 tubs, and that was his first week getting first team reps.
Right.
Oh,
right.
That's
what
tough.
are we talking about? But to me, I would have respected Deion. I would have respected Deion if he would have just let it ride out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just let it ride out. Okay, cool. But we all knew what it was. Like, bro, like you can't, like, listen, I got some inside sources, and I'm breaking this on your channel. Listen. Ooh. I'll talk to a player, and the player told Deion told the team and said this. He said, "Nah, I'm not going. I can't do it. I can't. Yeah, I don't want. I can't do it." But listen, just know that it's favoritism. There's some favoritism, and it's for his son. We'll just say that it's favoritism and it's heavy for his son, because you can see it in just the mere fact of recruiting. He's not recruiting. He's not recruiting any competition at his son's position.
You know, I mean, and I don't think Jordan's over here begging you to say it. He's crying. He's crying on the stream. Everyone's booing you now. You're getting booed off the show. But I mean, I honestly, man. So you mentioned this. You mentioned this like revenge tour coming next year when Akil ultimately graduates and Casey's probably going to be the QB. What do you think the reaction of Jackson State fans are going to be if Quincy Casey comes out and like wins the Swac Player of the Year and beats Jackson State?
Bro, let me tell you. You know what I'm on. Revenge Tour 2022, baby, and I'm dropping t-shirts. I'm telling you, it's coming. It is coming, and I'm going to be at the game, live, front row center. I don't care who I gotta pay. I don't care who I gotta talk to. I am going to be live and in that game, and I'm gonna be decked out in some Quincy Casey gear, because you know what bandwagon I am on. For real.
He's gonna have to get another. He's gonna have to get the reversible bucket hat for Alabama A&M next year. This is his last year on the bandwagon for Jackson
It's
State.
my
He's got to
last
get a
year.
new hat made.
Listen, if Connell Mader comes out and puts Quincy Casey as the starting quarterback for Alabama A&M, best believe that Jackson State shirt is going down. Alabama A&M is coming up, and I'm gonna do a video for the unveiling, and it's going down, bro. It's going down. It's going down.
Oh man,
Hey, listen, man. I appreciate you for having me on. I'm not gonna take too much of your time, man. Hey, love what y'all doing. Love the live stream, and I'm gonna stay in the chat, man. That's peace and love.
Appreciate it, man. Guys, go check out All Script TV, man. You already know what it is. That's our dude. He's been our biggest supporter, man, since we've jumped over here to Swac Football. So go follow his channel. Y'all already know what it is. I ain't got to put his thing up. Y'all already know what it is, but. We got the cussing out Prom if that happens.
True.
I love it. But guys, let me post in here, right, because we're gonna end it pretty soon. But let me post the link again. Any of you got comments to jump on here like Script just did? Here is the link right here. Just posted it in the chat. Y'all can come up on here, give y'all's opinion before we get off. But outside of Jackson State Shadur, because we all know that's gonna be the big thing with SWAC Media Days. And guys, I just looked now. Media days are going to be Tuesday, July 20th at 10 a.m. Central. Listen, me and Brandon both work during the day, so we can't go live at 10 Central. But listen, it's that night. We'll make it 7 p.m. Central. We will go live and recap media days here for the SWAC. We'll break down all the biggest news and everything like that. So we will definitely be going live during the media day. But, guys, here's the link. Y'all got probably about 10, 15 minutes to jump on here if y'all want to do it. Let's see. Also, you should get a JSU Quincy throwback. Man. Hey, because, I mean, he technically could get a jersey because I know Panay Sewell and a bunch of Oregon players were selling their jerseys on Twitter through, like, Venmo and stuff like that because the new NILs allowed them to do it. Yeah, it is streaming on ESPN3, so make sure to get that if y'all can. I promise y'all aren't going to want to miss that. But, I also do want to hear, Brady, you mentioned earlier, I do really want to hear from Felix Harper and Alcorn because it's been a whole year, and I know I had them ranked second, you got them ranked third, and people are just going to forget about Alcorn. But I just want to see kind of where that mindset of that team is and how motivated they sound to kind of come take back their title.
Yeah, I'm super excited for that. Now, like I said, they're going to get the questions about how they stay prepared for the upcoming season, how they trained for it. And honestly, I'm excited to hear it because I know we might get some of like the same old, like, oh, we were hitting the weights all season long. We've been training. Even though we didn't play, we've been training, we've been practicing, whatever. I feel like there's going to be something else. I feel like we're going to hear something. We're going to hear some cockiness come out. And I'm excited to hear, even from their coach, I mean, with the electricity that Prime's bringing to the SWAC, with, I guess, the rivalry with Coach Maynard, I think we're going to hear something out of their coach. He has to come with something at least. I think we're going to hear that out of a lot of coaches this year, though. And that's one of the super exciting things for me, too.
I like it. And so also, too, I mean, I don't think they've announced the times. I really hope they put Dion and Alabama A&M real close together.
Oh, right next to each other.
I really do. Like right next to each other.
I hope they share a table.
He said, I'm setting my alarm. He said, I'm setting my alarm Monday night. Can't miss this media day. We are too. Listen, you can also follow us on Twitter. I'm going to be live tweeting some stuff from work. I can be on my phone at work. I just can't be live streaming from the office. Y'all know how it is. Can't get fired till we start making money. Still got to work my government job.
Yeah, my government job.
We appreciate the support, Phil, man. We appreciate, man. We haven't had a live in a while, so it feels good to be on here with y'all, man, talking. This is our first SWAT live stream too. Prom will go last. Yeah, I would bet money. Prom's going to go last just because they're going to build the hype up. If I had to guess, Texas Southern, and then we'll probably be going first because you can't not win a game last year and expect to go anywhere other than first. But I'm also excited. Listen, we've been hyping this guy up. I know offensive line play isn't sexy or not fun to watch. He said Bluebloods being messy. Oh man, I love it. I love it. But Yes, I do think it's actually. Listen, I don't know if tense is the word for it. Be fresh. I think competitive is going to be more the word, and just where everyone kind of knows that it's going to be. Listen, this fall, I know I haven't covered the Swac for a long time. I've been trying to do my history. I've been watching old games. I've been doing my research. So I'm trying to get my Swac experience up. This season in the Swac is going to be a bloodbath. Absolutely. In terms of competitive football. And I can't wait for it. I mean, every week there's going to be 3-4 games that weekend that mean something for the long, in the long run for the Swac.
Yeah, I believe so, Zach. I don't know. The level of excitement that I have just doing this one live stream, by the way, for this fall season is through the freaking roof. And I honestly cannot say I've ever been so excited about FCS football. But man, once we started covering all this, man, it's gone crazy.
He said I want Maynard and Prom sitting next to each other. He's gonna hit the Ric Flair on them.
They need to share a table. They need to have what is it, like a shoot, what do they call it in like UFC? Like the night before the fight, they have the weigh in, and then they have all that stuff.
Oh, the post fight and pre fight press conferences.
All the pre fight press conference is exactly what I want.
They pretty much have one for the FAMU Jackson State game down in Miami.
So we got our season tickets to Swac Talk Show.
Yeah. Who do you have your season tickets for? JSU or? What's up? I mean, listen, I'm so pumped. And so Mark Evans II, I'm also excited to hear talk. Y'all can go check out our channel. We have an exclusive interview with Mark. The offensive lineman getting no shine. We've tried to give the offensive lineman a little bit of shine on the show. And so the last question here, Brandon, and this is, you don't have to give your official prediction, anything like that. Which team? Oh, he said he got Southern season tickets.
Hell yeah. Hey, I'll meet you there.
He said, Prom got to say them 5 stars in here. He said, JSU, let's go. So, let me take this banner off real quick. So, which team this all season, and you don't have to just go by paper, had the most impactful offseason in terms of their win number increasing this season? So which team do you think is going to see the most increase on the field?
No doubt in my mind, the most impactful offseason was Alabama A&M. And that might be recency bias. It might be recency bias, but I think, come on, Zach. You can't have 2 straight weeks of signees and not have the most impactful offseason.
So you're talking about the Spencer Perry and the Jonathan Timmons and all them?
Dude, listen. It went crazy.
Okay, so I got to ask you in the comments, how wild is it going to be the press conferences leading up to that October matchup between A&M and Jackson State?
Oh my God. God.
If Maynard beats Jackson State this year, guys, it's going to be I think he won the Swac championship.
I don't know. It might be business as usual, just because that's how he moves along with things. If JSU wins, on the other hand, if they beat Alabama A&M, it'll be like they won the Swac championship, I think. Jordan
said Alabama A&M or FAMU besides JSU. Dante says still not going to help. He's giving it. Dante, I need to see Nugget. I haven't seen any of the preseason polls for the Buck Buchanan. I gotta feel like Nugget's on that watch list for the Buck Buchanan Award.
He has to be
for the best defensive player in the FCS. We've had some interviews. We had an interview with Nicario Harper from Jacksonville State. We also had one with Chris Edmonds from Stanford, and they both were finalists last year. So I want to see Nugget in that race, man. I don't feel like the SWAC players are getting enough respect in terms of in terms of national recognition. But Lamont Rice here said A&M, I agree with them boys, was bringing in Power 5 players and still have some that haven't been posted. That is true. I have a source.
No, we have an actual source. We're not talking about Never mind. We got an actual source.
We're not talking about J Boy or anyone like that. We got an actual source on the coaching staff who said that he said there's an offensive one that's coming in the pipeline. There's some administrative things they got to work out. It's going to change the excuse me. It's going to change the offense. It is.
Yeah, we're kind of pulling an off script right now because we leaked that and we're not going to say it.
All script's so dirty for not dropping that thing. All script, you better have a live after this. You better have a live. You better be making that overlay and everything right now, bro. I need that info.
We'll be on.
I would say A&M and Jackson State are neck and neck. I get it. Everyone's going to point to Shiloh. Everyone's going to point to Shadur, everything like that. But the biggest weakness, Brandon, for Jackson State for me was the offensive line.
I agree.
And the biggest weakness for Alabama A&M for me was the secondary. And which unit for those two schools got better, I guess, got better. And I do think Jackson State improved pretty well on the offensive line. But some of the players that Alabama A&M got in that secondary are going to be absolute game changers.
Yeah.
Like Spencer Perry is going to step immediately into that safety spot, the star spot on that defense, and be an impact player.
Right.
And that's kind of where I get the difference. Dante, I agree. He is underrated, just extremely underrated. You see, I don't know if he said he's talking all that crap YouTube. In person, he ain't saying nothing. I think if Deion said something to him in the press conference, he would say something. I really do. Lamont knows too. He said just keep it under wraps real quick. Phil Ross said honestly, A&M are the Peyton Manning Colts of the Swac. You better go get some DBs. That's true. Listen, I get it. The reason that I'm so high on Alabama A&M, and we'll end the stream here, they got the best quarterback in the conference. That's the most important. That's the most valuable position to win the conference at. And then on top of that, his supporting cast is better than any supporting cast in the conference. They have the best wide receiving core in the conference right now, top to bottom. They have 6 guys that could start at almost any other SWAT school.
Right.
Headlined by Abdul, who is honestly been one of the best. Now, I didn't forget about him. I was just giving my favorite, which was Spencer, because he was on the show, and I'm pumped. When you get a 6'4" corner with 4.4 speed, man, that's tough. And he said, Prime, do this, man. I agree. But, guys, man, subscribe now. Give this video a thumbs up, man. I appreciate y'all tuning in, man. Y'all have made this such an awesome experience. We're going to be live streaming more. I've already talked to Scotty and Brandon. Everyone, like, we're going to be kind of moving into some more live shows. So make sure to subscribe now. Turn on your post notifications for when we go live again. Tell people, man, we the new kids covering the Swac message. Spread the word. We appreciate all y'all support that have been rocking with us since February, man. We appreciate y'all so much. But, guys, we will be live Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Central Time, right here on the show. We'll make a page for it and everything, recapping SWAC Media Days, chatting it up with y'all, going over all the storylines, what people said, what people didn't say, and everything like that. So make sure to tune in for that 2-minute drill Monday through Friday, man. We cover everything under the sun. We're in talks with 2 SWAC players, one from Jackson State, one from Southern, about coming on the show. We're working out some stuff with them right now, so stay tuned for that. And also go check out our interviews. We got some of the best talent in the FCS and the SWAC on our show. Let's see. So, Asset, who would you have having the best core of wide receivers? I got to know before we hop off. I got to know who has the best wide receiving core.
Very curious on this.
I need to know who you got because I need to know. Let's see.
This guy.
It's like night and day comparing JSU to Alabama A&M. What's different? They both came from Power 5 schools. Listen, Phil.
Hell yeah.
I don't know how much I can tell, but there is something in the works with a few of us, and that's coming out real soon. We're working out the details. They got put together this week. They're not on here right now, so I don't want to say too much, but it's coming. It is coming.
It's coming. Mark,
okay,
I'm back. Michael Jordan.
So we have one vote for JSU's wide receivers. We got Alabama A&M. We got Alabama A&M and FAMU. So I don't mind FAMU. I think FAMU's a good argument. JSU has some good ones. They're just unproven right now. Outside of Reed, and I'll say Corbin, because Corbin was preseason all AAC. So I'll give those two guys like their flowers, but everyone else is unproven. I don't want to hear anything about Lanier. Don't bring it to me. Don't bring it to my door, because I don't want it. But so we also got FAMU, Alabama A&M, JSU. He said Jackson State literally has 2 4-star recruits in addition to Newman. I do like Newman too, as like a shiftier slot option. I get it. He said it's different because Power 5 schools still recruit 2 stars too.
It's true.
He said, man, JSU hands down. Listen, if I had to make a ranking right now, I'd have Alabama A&M 1 in terms of wide receivers, Jackson State a close second, and then third I'd probably put FAMU. I would. That's how I would rank them. But guys, we're getting out of here, man. Make sure to subscribe, like the video, man. We will be back Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Central Time to recap Swac Media Days, and we might even have a live show this upcoming weekend. We'll keep y'all tuned. We'll keep y'all updated on that. But guys, for B-Dub, for myself and the Bluebloods, we really, really appreciate all the support, man. We'll be back to Monday with a 2-minute drill and an interview. So tune in for that. But for B-Dub and myself, we out.